There was once a young monk named Taro, living in a remote Zen monastery nestled within the mountains. Every day, Taro would rise before dawn, meditate by the tranquil stream, and perform the chores assigned to him by the master. Though he followed the routine faithfully, he harbored a secret longing. He wished to scale the highest peak in the mountain range that surrounded the monastery. The peak was known as the Cloud's Edge, and no one from the village had ever attempted to climb it. The older monks spoke of it with reverence, saying it was an impossible feat. The mountain was too steep, the terrain too treacherous, and the weather too unpredictable. Yet Taro couldn't shake his desire. He dreamed of standing atop the peak, breathing in the cold, crisp air, and looking out over the world below. More than a physical challenge, it felt like a calling, something he needed to conquer to understand himself. One evening, as Taro swept the courtyard, he worked up the courage to approach the master. The old monk sat silently under the blossoming cherry tree, his eyes closed in meditation. "Master," Taro said, bowing deeply, "I wish to climb the Cloud's Edge. How can I achieve such a task?" The master opened his eyes slowly, looking at Taro with a soft, knowing gaze. "To achieve anything, Taro, you must first understand two things: the nature of your mind and the nature of the journey." Taro furrowed his brow. "What do you mean, master?" The master gestured for him to sit. "Your mind, like the mountain, is vast and filled with obstacles. Before you begin your ascent, you must calm the turbulence within. Sit by the stream for 7 days and simply watch the water flow. Only then will you be ready." Though confused by the instruction, Taro trusted his master. For 7 days he sat by the stream, watching the water flow over rocks and under fallen branches. At first his mind was filled with doubt. What did watching a stream have to do with climbing a mountain? But as the days passed, Taro noticed something profound. The water never struggled, no matter the obstacle. Whether it met rocks, steep drops, or sharp bends, it flowed with ease, adjusting its course without hesitation. On the 8th day, Taro returned to the master. "I understand now, master," he said. "The water doesn't force its way through. It adapts and continues on its path." The master nodded. "Exactly. The first lesson is patience and flexibility. Obstacles will always appear, but you must not fight them. Instead, flow around them. Now you are ready for the second part of your journey. Begin your ascent, but remember this: do not think about reaching the top. Focus only on taking the next step." Taro was perplexed. "But master, how can I reach the top if I do not think of it?" The master smiled. "To achieve anything, you must release your attachment to the end result. If you focus only on the peak, you will grow frustrated with each step. But if you focus on each step itself, you will discover the journey is the true goal." And so Taro began his climb. The path was indeed treacherous, with jagged rocks and steep cliffs. There were moments when he felt fear rising in his chest, and other moments when exhaustion threatened to overwhelm him. But each time, he remembered the master's words: "Flow like water and focus on the next step." Days passed. Taro encountered unexpected storms and almost lost his footing on more than one occasion. But through it all, he stayed present, taking one step after the other, allowing each obstacle to be a part of the journey rather than a hindrance. Finally, on the 7th day of his climb, Taro reached the peak. The sight was breathtaking, far beyond what he had imagined. The air was thin and crisp, and the sky stretched endlessly in every direction. Yet, as he stood at the top, Taro realized something surprising. His greatest joy came not from standing on the peak, but from the journey that had brought him there. Every step, every challenge, Every moment of doubt had shaped him into the person who could stand on this summit. When Taro returned to the monastery, the master greeted him with a smile. "Did you reach the top, Taro?" "Yes, master," Taro said, bowing deeply. "But more than that, I learned that the summit is not the goal. The journey itself is." The master nodded. "And that, Taro, is how you achieve anything. Not by conquering the peak, but by conquering yourself." In our lives, we often become fixated on the goals we wish to achieve, losing sight of the journey itself. Like Taro, remember that the key to achieving anything is not just in reaching the peak, but in embracing every step with patience and presence. Let go of your attachment to the outcome and trust in the process. You, too, can achieve anything if you focus on each step of your journey. In our lives, we often become fixated on the goals we wish to achieve, losing sight of the journey itself. Like Taro, remember that the key to achieving anything is not just in reaching the peak, but in embracing every step with patience and presence. Let go of your attachment to the outcome and trust in the process. You too can achieve anything if you focus on each step of your journey. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below with the challenges you're facing and how you plan to take the next step forward. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring Zen stories and insights that can help guide you on your own path. Together, we can conquer any mountain, one step at a time.